This is the sort of the typical Sojourn tasting salon layout. We have.
This is.
Okay.
Yeah, so we pour our wines in Riedel stemware, and what we're going to taste through today is we're going to taste through, in this flight, 4 different Pinot Noirs. What you have in front of you, Neil, is we have one appellation wine, where what we've done is to take 4 different vineyards and to blend wines from 4 vineyards and make, an individual bottle. That's the Sonoma Coast.
Right?
The other 3 wines, are from individual vineyards, and each of them shows that individual vineyard characteristic.
Right. They're all Sonoma Coast vineyards.
These 4 happen. Yes, all 4 of these wines happen to be Sonoma Coast. We shipped 4 Sonoma Coast Pinot Noirs, started in the springtime, and then we'll have 2 Mendocino Pinots from 2007 that'll be released in the fall.
Okay.
So end to end, we'll have 6 Pinots in the 2007 vintage. So, what do we taste?
Okay. That's a lovely wine.
Really nice, pretty wine. Sort of a crushed cranberry component. Really nice acid on this. The Sonoma Coast is a great food wine. It's extremely balanced, and at $36 retail, it's definitely relative to where the Pinot Noir market is today, a relative bargain. Moving on, Windsor Oaks. So the Windsor Oaks wine is both Sonoma Coast appellation and also Russian River, and I think that we happen to put Sonoma Coast on the bottle. I think it really exhibits more of a Russian River profile.
So this is properties in and up that kind of is on the border of the appellations.
It is, and so what we did was we took some of the Windsor Oaks and put it into the Sonoma Coast appellation wine, and that's why we called the vineyard designate from the Sonoma Coast appellation.
So some of this was in here.
That's correct.
Okay.
So to me, the Windsor Oaks exhibits a couple of things. Being a little bit more Russian River in style, to me it's got kind of a hard, candied, sort of like a red cherry, hard candy Jolly
Lifesaver or something.
Jolly Rancher.
I'm almost getting on the nose even.
Jolly Rancher. And then kind of an interesting tobacco component too, to the wine.
Yeah, there's definitely I get that candy. It just feels a little bit, and obviously I know this is a Sonoma Coast, and you already told me this is more Russian River. It feels like a warmer wine, and I don't mean alcohol level. I mean it just feels like it came from a warmer piece of land somehow.
It does geographically. Geographically, this vineyard is a little bit warmer than some of the other vineyards.
Very tasty.
Yeah, thank you. In the 3 position is the San Giacomo. And
this is the one that
this is the one you happened to taste previously.
Yeah.
The San Giacomos are a family that live here in Sonoma, and they farm about 1,600 acres of land. They don't make any wine; they simply farm grapes.
Right.
Most of their holdings are in the Carneros appellation, Sonoma Valley and Carneros, and then just about 20% of their holdings are actually in the Sonoma Coast appellation.
Right.
Both just north of the racetrack of Infidian Raceway, and then the vineyard where this comes from is in the Petaluma Gap region behind Sonoma State University in Cotati-Roanoke Park. This has been our flagship Pinot since we started making Pinot Noir in 2004. Lots of previous accolades on this wine. This wine could be our best effort to date. It's young in the 2007, but it's very forward. It's got a great nose. It's definitely a substantial mid palate and a really long finish. It's sexy and racy. It's a wow wine.
Yeah.
Many have commented as such, but.
Yeah, again, that mouthfeel you talked about, the texture is just, and I think of the 3 I've had so far, they're all very different wines, by the way, I like them all, but this is the one that really is just sort of like, demanding attention.
Yeah, definitely a crowd pleaser and a big, crowd pleaser and a crowd favorite.
Wow, it's incredible. Number 4, Gaps Crown.
Love this vineyard. We're very, very high on this vineyard, both now and also long term. If you take a look at the color on the Gaps Crown, it's got this really unique sort of blue purple sheen to it. We call that blue fruit, and it's very unique. I don't know of another vineyard north of the Golden Gate Bridge that has the same color. It sort of reminds me of there's some vineyards down in Santa Barbara that have sort of like that blue purple color.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely unique color. So top of the world.
Yeah, again, each of the noses have been unique, and this one is something dark.
A little bit of clove, Asian spice, and there's a little bit of root spice in there that I'm picking up.
The Asian spices.
Cherry and plum aromas.
It's interesting. The nose led me to believe that I was going to get sort of a dark, heavy wine, but this one is lighter to me than the other two somehow. It's sort of like it almost has the same kind of lighter cherry quality that this wine had. Not as much, but certainly more so than these two. But the nose tricked me into thinking I was going to get something heavier. Does that make any sense?
It does. This wine tends to have a little bit. It has a little bit more edge, maybe a little bit more verve. Maybe that's the right word.
I like that.
Whereas, instead of it being silky and mouth coating like the San Giacomo is, it's just got a little extra, half a scoop of tannin and structure, a little bit of verve to it. Not drying by any means, but just a little bit of edge. That edge actually has resolved quite a bit over the last 6 months. It just continues to resolve into a really neat wine. We're very, very high on Gaps Crown, and yeah, we're just really high on the vineyard. Really like the vineyard. Great farming.
Again, fascinating to me that here 4 side-by-side Pinot Noirs, each one with their own unique characteristic from the same winemaker. And once again, it goes back to what you talked about, where you guys find the fruit, you source this fruit, that are going to make 4 unique Pinot Noirs that each one has their own characteristics and their own personality, really.
They do, and I think that's really what we're trying to do, is we're trying to make wines that are representative of the vineyard, the terroir, and the geography that they come from. And so what you're tasting is wines that, although all in the same appellation, technically from a map standpoint, all have very distinct, different characteristics.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for your time, Craig.
Great, thank you so
Appreciate
much. You bet.
Cheers.
Cheers.